Welcome back. This is chapter 4, the ashes that made trees bloom. And now I'm going to explain passage number 56, 7 to you. So here we go. Not long after that, the good old man dreamed again, and the spirit of the dog spoke to him, telling him how the wicked people had burned the mill made from the pine tree. So not long after the borrowing of the machines, or say the borrowing of the mortar and the mill, again there came the spirit of dog into his dreams. In his dreams, and the spirit informed him in his dreams that how the wicked people had burned the mill that they had made from the pine tree. So the dog informed him of all that had happened with the mortar, or say with the mill. Now what he said, what he advised him. Let's say, take the ashes of the mill, sprinkle them on the withered trees, and they will bloom again, said the dog spirit. And after that, the spirit advised him to take the ashes of the mill. He said him to collect the ashes of the mill and then sprinkle the ashes on the withered trees, that is, the trees without leaves and flowers and fruit, a bare tree, and they will bloom again, and they will be covered with the flowers, with leaves, and flowers with fruits. The spirit informed him in that way. The old man awoke and went at once to his wicked neighbor's house, where he found the miserable old pair sitting at the edge of their square fireplace in the middle of the floor, smoking and spinning. So there the old man got up instantly, or say he got up early in the morning, and then getting up he went to the wicked neighbor's house. Here he found the miserable old pair, that is, the unhappy old couple, sitting at the edge of their square fireplace. They were sitting at the edge of, that is, very close to their square fireplace, in the middle of the floor, smoking and spinning, and they were sitting in the middle of the floor, and that is possibly the fireplace was at the center of the room, and they were sitting in the middle of the floor and smoking. They were smoking and spinning. From time to time they warmed their hands and feet with the blaze, and from time to time, every now and then, they would warm their hands and feet, because it was winter, with the blaze, that is, with the fire from some bits of this mill, with the fire that was ablaze from the small bits of mill. Okay, so then after that, while behind them lay a pile of the broken pieces, and behind them, behind this couple, lay a heap of the broken pieces of the mill. Okay, then the good old man humbly asked for the ashes, and going there, as he found the situation there, so he humbly, very very politely asked the wicked couple for the ashes. Although the covetous couple turned up their noses at him, that is, though the covetous, that is the greedy couple, turned up their noses, that is, they looked at the old farmer, with hatred, with contempt, with hatred, and scolded him as if he were a thief, and scolded him for, say, for giving them not the original one, say the duplicate one, say in that way they thought in their minds, and that's why they were scolding him, and as if he were a thief, and they were scolding him as if he were a thief, and that possibly for the ashes that he was asking for. They let him fill his basket with the ashes, but they allowed him to fill his basket with the ashes because ashes was without any use. That was a useless thing. So they thought, let him take the useless thing. And so they allowed him. On coming home, the old man took his wife into the garden, and as a return, he took his wife into the garden. It being winter, their favorite cherry tree was bare, and as it was winter, so they found their favorite cherry tree was bare without any leaves, flowers, or fruit. He sprinkled a pinch of ashes on it, and lo, it sprouted blossoms until it became a cloud of pink blossoms, which perfumed the air. And then he took just a pinch of ash and sprinkled it on the cherry tree, bare cherry tree, and within no second they found the surprise. They found with wonder that it sprouted blossoms. It came out, the tree got completely covered with leaves and flowers and possibly fruits as well. And it became a cloud of pink blossom. It turned into a thick blossom of pink color, which perfumed the air, and these pink flowers filled the air with good smell, that is sweet scent or sweet smell. The news of this filled the village, and everyone ran out to see the wonder, and this news spread. Soon this news spread to every villager there, and they ran out to that garden to see that wonder, to see the magic. The covetous couple also heard the story. The covetous, that is the greedy couple, also heard the story, and gathering up the remaining ashes of the mill, and they gathered the remaining ashes of the mill, kept them to make withered trees blossom, and they kept them safely to turn the withered trees into blossom, since they came to know that the ashes from the mill was having the magic, or the ashes from the mill magically turned the bare tree into blossom, So they thought that the remaining ashes of this mill would have the same powers to do the same thing. The kind old man, hearing that his lord, the daimyo, was to pass along the high road near the village, set out to see him taking his basket of ashes. So the kind man now came to learn that that his lord, that is daimyo, that is the landlord, the landlord of that village, was to pass through or pass along the highway or pass through his village. So as he came to know of this, so he went to see his daimyo, his landlord, his master, and he went there with the basket of ashes. As the train approached, he climbed up into an old withered cherry tree that stood the wayside, and as the train approached, that is, the procession approached, he climbed up into an old withered cherry tree. He climbed up a withered cherry tree. This good farmer climbed up the withered cherry tree that stood by the wayside, that stood by the roadside. Now in the days of the daimyos, it was the custom when their lord passed by for all the loyal people to shut up their high windows. So it was the custom, it was the system there, that during those days, the loyal people, those who were loyal to the daimyos, they had to shut their high windows, or the windows, or the doors, say the windows, everything. Or they even pasted them fast with a slip of paper, so as not to commit the impertinence of looking down on his lordship. So they had to even paste the high window with paper with some slips, so as that became completely blocked, completely sealed, and the purpose of it was that no one should look the daimyos from a higher place, from a higher position, because the daimyos was the lord of them, and no one was supposed to sit above him or see him from a higher ground or from a higher place. That's why even the windows, high windows, were fully sealed. All the people along the road would fall upon their hands and knees and remain prostrate until the procession passed by, and even they had to lie on the road or on the ground, or with their hands and feet touching it, that is touching the ground, and their face was facing it, that is facing the ground even. And they had to be at that state, in that position, until the procession passed by that area, or at least passed by them. The train drew near. One tall, competent man marched ahead, crying out to the people by the way, "Get down on your knees! Get down on your knees!" So, as the train, that is, as the procession drew near, came closer to this village, one tall. That is, there was a man, there was a leader, or there was one who was leading the procession. He would come out, he would come to the front, and he would then call out, that is, he would then shout to the people to get get down on their knees. That is, he would shout people to be on their knees, to come down on their knees. And everyone knelt down while the procession was passing, and everyone was on their knees while the procession was passing by them. Suddenly, the leader of the van caught sight of the aged man up in the tree, and suddenly that leader caught sight of a man, the leader who was, walking in front of the procession that leader caught sight of a man, that is, he noticed a man sitting on a tree. He was about to call out to him in an angry tone, but seeing he was such an old fellow, he pretended not to notice him and passed by him. But as he was about to shout, he realized that the man was old, and since he was old, and if he was caught and if he was punished, there was a chance that he died of the punishment of the beating and all. So he pretended, he showed, he made such gestures, he made such, that is, he behaved in such a way that suggests that he did not notice the man, he did not see the man, and he allowed the procession to pass by. So when the daimyo's palanquin drew near, the old man, taking a pinch of ashes from his basket, scattered it over the tree. In a moment it burst into blossom. So as the king's palanquin, that is not king but the daimyo's palanquin, that is a royal van or a cart, drew near him, came near the old man, he took a pinch of ash from his basket and scattered it over the tree, and in a moment the tree burst into blossom, was full of flowers, was full of leaves. The delighted daimyo ordered the train to be stopped and got out to see the wonder. And the daimyo was delighted. He was very much pleased, and he ordered the procession to stop so that he could see the wonder, the magic that occurred as he reached near that tree. Calling the old man to him, he thanked him and ordered present of silk robes, sponge cake, fans, and other rewards to be given him. And then he came down, or see, he came out of his palanquin, his cart, and then he ordered the man to come near him. And as he reached near him, came near him, he ordered his men, his servants, his men, to present him reward, to present him gifts of royal, gifts of silk robes, silk cloaks, silk wraps, as is worn by the Japanese people. So those clothes made of silk to be presented to him. It was also to be given a sponge cake. It was also to be given fans and other rewards. He even invited him to his castle. Even he was invited to his castle, to his palace, to his fort. So the old man went gleefully home to share his joy with his dear old wife. And after that, the old farmer, returned his home. He was so happy, so delighted, and he wanted to share this happiness, this joy with his beloved, with his dear wife. But when the greedy neighbor heard of it, he took some of the magic ashes and went out on the highway. When the greedy neighbor came to know of whatever happened on the highway, he collected the ashes from that magic mill, and then he too went on the highway. There he waited until a daimyo's train came along, and instead of kneeling down like the crowd, he climbed a withered cherry tree, and here he went out on the highway, and then he waited for the daimyo's procession to come, and excuse me, as it reached near him, he climbed up the cherry tree there instead of kneeling down like the rest of the crowd did. When the daimyo himself was almost directly under him, he threw a handful of ashes over the tree, which did not change a particle. Now when the daimyo and his palanquin, say, was directly under the tree, this wicked farmer, this greedy farmer, took a handful of ashes and he threw it over the tree, that is, he sprinkled over the tree. But this time, it didn't have any change. It didn't bring about any change in the tree. But on the other hand, what happened? Let's find. The wind blew the fine dust in the noses and the eyes of the daimyo and his wife. Okay, so this time, like previously, that is unlike previously, the way it happened on the previous occasion, that when it was sprinkled, the ash was sprinkled by the good farmer, that the tree was full of, the tree instantly got covered with the blossom, with the flowers, with the leaves. But this time it didn't happen so. Instead, on the contrary, the ash was blown to the nose and eyes of the daimyo and his wife. So sneezing and choking, it spoiled all the pomp and dignity of the procession. And then they started to sneeze. They started their voice, say, got choked. Their throat got choked. It spoiled all the pomp and dignity of the procession, and it created some kind of chaos there, because the dignity or the pomp of the procession was now lost, because the daimyo and his wife were coughing, they were sneezing, or their throat got choked, so they were uneasy, they were feeling uneasy, they were uncomfortable. So all the pomp, all the say beauty, the beauty of the procession was now lost. The man whose business it was to cry, "Get down on your knees," seized the old fool by the collar, dragged him from the tree, and tumbled him and his ash bucket into the ditch by the road. Now the man, the leader of the procession, that is the man whose duty was to shout, give a cry, that is shout, and ask people to come down on their knees. He went up and he went to the old man, seized him by collar, he grabbed him, he held him by his collar, dragged him, and then tumbled and pushed him down into a ditch by the roadside. Along with pushing him into the ditch, he also threw the basket of ash. Then, beating him soundly, he left him for dead. And then he bet him soundly, that is, he bet him badly. And then he left him to die there, that is, he left him for dead. That is, he left him as he thought that he was dead. Or say he left him there to die. Thus the wicked old man died in the mud, and thus he died there. But the kind friend of the dog dwelt in peace and plenty. But on the other hand, the wicked farmer died there. But on the other hand, the good old farmer, who was the friend of the dog, dwelt in peace and plenty. He dwelt in peace. There was peace in his life. There was things in abundance. That is, he was rich, so everything was available with him. And both he and his wife lived to a green old age, and both of them, the husband and wife, the couple, the good farmer and his wife, both of them lived for a long time. They led a very healthy and active life that was full of prosperity. So this is all from this chapter. Thank you.